Hello, it's David Giant 2B here, and yes, I do need a girlfriend. It is 25 to 38, non-smoker. Um, I'm single, no kids, want kids, and I know it's kind of a slight advertisement for myself, but I'm 37 and I need someone age 30, 25, 38, non-smoker, really middle of the road or Democrat or someone that likes sci-fi, someone that likes Disney, someone that's willing to help me with these YouTubes and yeah, if you like trying new things out and stuff, if you have a kid, one kid, but otherwise no kids. If I do want kids of my own, but anyway, yeah. Here we go with next Star Trek 7, Generations, and basically the next generation, that began in the mid 80s, like 1980, I think 1983, no, 1982 to 1984. Excuse me, 1980. Excuse me, I take that back. 1987 to 1994 was the next generation, and of course, the original cast was already making their movies. They already made up to Star Trek 4, and they wanted to cross the baton thing eventually, anyways. And people fell in love with the next generation. With Patrick Stewart and they fell in love with Patrick Stewart and Michael Dorn and plays Worf, and they fell in love with Data. Brent Spiner, and they fell in love with all those characters. And of course, Jonathan Frakes plays Commander Riker, and whatnot. And of course, Gene Roddenberry was passing away anyways. They already had this awesome Next Generation TV show that everybody fell in love with. So they said, let's make a motion picture, and I think they had the idea of making a motion picture for the longest time. And of course, you had, obviously it starred, Jonathan Frakes and Patrick Stewart and LeVar Burton, Reed Rainbow, and Michael Dorn and Gates McFadden as Dr. Crusher, and Marina Sirtis as Counselor Troy, and Brian Spiner as Data, and of course Will Wheaton, but he was, and of course Major Barrett as the voice of the computer. And she also walks at Troy in a few episodes. And I've done top 10 Next Generation stuff. But anyway, that was from 1987 to 94. That was kind of like and of course you already had the movies going on with the original cast. And it's supposed to be a pass of the baton type thing. And they had several things written. And of course they changed their uniform, and you see it noticed in the movie, because they were doing Deep Space Nine and Voyager, where they were changing the uniform up, which is interesting. In the middle of filming, they just kind of slipped that in, and no one would really notice, but they do have that. But anyway, so this is a changing the baton type movie, and passing of the guard. Of course, obviously, the Next Generation was already over. Deep Space Nine and Voyager were already taken off in full force by then. And this is kind of like, let's put the Next Generation, but it's kind of like, I don't know, in my opinion, this is kind of one final episode of the Next Generation. And it's kind of one of their lamer episodes, because, they've gone 7 years, But, everybody has their own lane, but it's like one of those 2-hour lane episodes of that. There's a passing of the baton from Kirk to Picard. And I think this was like, this was an idea that, let's do something in the past. And, yeah, the writers and people were kind of debating this, and they kind of had this all thought up, and they had rewrites and whatnot. And so, yeah, so this is Star Trek Generations. It begins with the bottle. It's slowed down of a bottle hitting. Alright, luckily I got it on Paramount Plus, but luckily, it's a bottle. I don't own the music. But anyway, it's a bottle. It's slowed down, because traditional navies, when a new ship is being christened, they always slam a bottle. I guess it's a good luck gesture. So anyway, it's a bottle being shot at the Enterprise B, and a bottle of champagne, and of course they open up to Shatner, Captain Kirk, Scotty, and Chekhov, and opening the brand new, christening the brand new Enterprise B. It's the end of the 23rd century, or if not the beginning of the 24th century, and whatnot. And obviously everybody's retired and stuff. Vintage 2265 is the wine. But anyway, this is the first ship that Captain Kirk isn't commanding, and of course Captain Harriman is the commander of Enterprise B, and of course they have a half-baked ship going on and whatnot, and they're just gonna do like a shakedown cruise and stuff, and they had a bunch of news reporters and stuff, and it's just supposed to be a shakedown, of course, and like I said, DeForest Kelley already passed away, and Nimoy didn't want to be in it, so they pretty much got the next best thing, Chekhov, who's kind of likes Shatner, and George Doohan, who kind of sort of likes Shatner, and so Scotty and Chekhov took place of Bones and Spock, and obviously they're getting a tour, and of course it's supposed to be a shakedown cruise, and but again it's a half-baked cruise. It's ridiculous, half-baked, and everything's ridiculous. And you get a distress call saying and it's funny, they're the only ship. This is the ridiculous part. They're the only ship that's they're the only ship that's available to save the crew, which is 2 passenger ships, and there's some sort of energy ribbon. Also, Hayaku Sulu, but it's funny because George Takei is gay, but his character isn't gay, and he had a wife and a child, and he has a daughter, Demora Sulu, who is helmsman. But anyway, they're flying a half-baked Enterprise B with a half-baked captain who apparently read all his things in grade school to go after, a rescue mission to this ribbon, and yeah, they don't know what they're going into, and of course they're getting the ship's Enterprise B is like all half baked and everything. It's really like it really shouldn't have been going on a cruise anyway because it didn't have a full crew on board, didn't have a medical staff on board, and only another thing, the run-on joke, nothing gets on until Tuesday, and nothing goes on until Tuesday, and then and yeah, half the engine, half the ship isn't even working.
I have a tractor beam. You left space dock without a tractor. It won't be installed until Tuesday. Ensign Sulu. Try generating a subspace field around the ships. That might break them free.
There's too much quantum interference, Captain.
What about venting plasma from the warp nacelles? That might disrupt the ribbons hold on the ships. Aye, sir. Releasing drive plasma. It's not having any effect, sir. I think the ribbons hold...
the starboard vessel's hull is collapsing.
How many people got on that ship?
265.
Sir, the LaCool's hull integrity is down to 12%.
Captain Kirk, I would appreciate any suggestions you might have. First, move us within transporter range. Leave those people aboard the Enterprise. What about the gravimetric distortions that tear us apart? Risk is part of the game. You want to sit in that chair. Helm, close to within transporter range. Second, turn that damn thing off.
So they do a rescue, and obviously, it was Soren, Andy McDowell, who plays the bad guy, who actually got them into the, because, you know, probably constructed the whole thing. And of course, Guinan, played by Whoopi Goldberg, it happens there because she's an Illyrian. Oh yeah, Tuvok. Well, the actor that plays Tuvok is there as a regular officer. I don't know what he's doing. I guess because they were also doing Voyager at the same time. But anyway, because I can't shoot scene for scene. And of course, Scotty. But of course, then their ship gets caught in their gravimetric whatever technical babble field of the Nexus. And you know, of course, they say they have to get it. They have to construct a wily thing that Scotty comes up to, and of course, the only way to do it is through all over deck of the Enterprise B. And of course, Kirk says, "I'll go," and you know, because you know, the captain of the Enterprise B was going to do it, but they didn't. But obviously, that, you know, and they assumed that Kirk was dead when that happened. Kirk never really died, but they said he was, and of course, you know, of course, he saves Enterprise B and stuff. So it's a mystery on whether or not Kirk really died. And yeah, and of course, then they jump to, like, you know, 80 years later, to the Next Generation. They're promoting Worf to commander after 7 years of being a lieutenant to an actual command. It's like, really, it's like kind of ridiculous that they promote him after all these years and stuff. But yeah.
My God! Was anyone in here?
I think they cut out his uniform, which was a deleted scene, but oh well. So, you know, they're on a holodeck, you know, doing a promotion ceremony for Worf, and pretty much mostly holograms. And of course, they have a joke where Riker says, "Remove the plank, retract the plank," and whatnot. But you know, and of course, Data doesn't get the joke, and of course, that's not funny because he pushes the counselor in the water. And you know, Data wants to consider getting himself his emotion chip. That he, you know, if you saw Next Generation, he was given an emotion chip by his clone brother, and you know, Lore, his clone brother, Lore gave him that in one of the episodes, and he wasn't going to use it, but he uses it anyways, and he kind of warned against it. But anyway. And of course, then, you know, this kind of, you know, everybody needs a family, and of course, you know, they had promotion of Worf after 7 years of nothing, I guess. I don't know. And of course, they're still kind of acting like it's a TV show, I guess. Maybe that's kind of the bad part. They're acting like it's a TV show. And of course, Picard realizes, oh yeah, his brother and his nephew have been killed in a fire. Because he didn't think it was his job to carry on the Picard line. Of course, if you watch Star Trek Picard, you know, he thinks differently, but, you know, of course, Picard takes over the vineyard anyways, later on, but this is, you know, still like a cross of a TV show. Anyway, they get an alert that there's a problem on a star base, and Soren, of course, we don't know that Soren is causing trouble, and he kind of knocks himself out pretending he's the bad guy. Cause he's trying to move that ribbon because he wants to get himself in the Nexus, but we don't know that yet. And but meanwhile, so yeah, we jump to that, and of course, meanwhile, Data, like, you know, he wants to get his motion. He gets his motion chip locked in there, which we find out later on and stuff. And I can't see I'm just doing what I can. And of course, going to Data's legacy, Brent Spiner and LeVar Burton, using Reading Rainbow, if you guys remember that one, if you're old enough to remember that one, and this is before, he has his robotic eyes, he still has the visor, because remember they still have the TV, but they're crossing the uniforms. I don't know if you kind of briefly noticed that and stuff.
I've endeavored to become more human, to grow beyond my original programming. Still, I am unable to grasp such a basic concept as humor. It's emotion chip. Maybe the only answer.
So Soren is destroying stars to get this next to him. And I guess he's the same type of species as Gyna and Lurian or whatever. The same type of species or whatever, because they live like very long lifespans, I guess. Anyway, so and of course Picard's having his emotional problems, and Council Troy's trying to figure it out. Minister, she's trying to figure it out and whatnot. But yeah, and of course, Geordi and Data are sent down to the star base before the star explodes. And they pick up Soren, but they're trying to figure out what's going on. And of course, Data's emotional trip is going out of whack. And he doesn't get control to the end of the movie, anyways. But anyway, so he has experiences humor and goofiness and stupidity and whatever. Normal humans. Data's kind of like the cross of, he's kind of the Spock version, android version of Spock and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, they're trying to figure out why, why, and of course they're using the Klingons as a scapegoat and stuff. And of course there's a scene with alcohol, with Data going screwball, and of course meanwhile, Anna McDowell, who plays Soren, is talking about, time, I don't have time, and he's kind of giving hints that I don't have time and stuff, and they don't get, they're trying to get clues and stuff. Like, it's kind of like a shitty episode. Of Next Generation, I guess. They're trying to get clues and stuff.
Data, come take a look at
He
this.
did has other uniforms, see? So I'm wondering, they crossed the uniform. Data has the newer uniform of the other TV shows.
I have not. Have you?
No, I have not. It is most unusual.
Mr. Tricorner.
Just see if you can help me get these tabs open.
Make it so.
So anyway, as you can see half original uniform of the TV show, and then of course the newer version of the uniform. And I think that was mentioned somewhere, but you see that and stuff, which is ridiculous, but it is what it is.
All nuclear fusion is breaking down.
How is that possible?
Sensor records show the observatory launched a solar probe into the sun a few moments ago.
The star is going to collapse in a matter of minutes.
Sir, the implosion has produced a level 12 shockwave.
I'll destroy everything in this system.
Transporter room to bridge. I can't locate Commander LaForge or Mr. Data, sir.
Did they come back to the ship?
No, sir, they are not on board.
How long before the shockwave hits the observatory?
4 minutes, 40 seconds.
On what?
To what? Aye, sir.
Anyway, so they use the thing. Of course, the Duras sisters are the antagonists throughout the TV show, because they were at peace. They used the Duras sisters as antagonists because there was a few episodes where what do you call it? House of Moog, Worf's real birth parents, and cahoots with the other houses, Klingon Empire. They in the TV show they get in depth with it. You have to watch the TV show. They get in depth with the Klingon Empire and endure us through. They think that the rightful throne people or whatever. I don't know how that Klingon Empire works exactly, but anyway, they're entitled, and Soren employs them. Obviously, they're promised payment or some sort of life-giving thing or something. And using an old bird of prey, and of course they use stock footage to destroy it, but you see that later on. But anyway, Data and Picard, Patrick Stewart and Brent Spiner discover that Soren is the antagonist. He's trying to do something, and this is pretty well. Like I said, I can't see scene for scene and stuff. And there's they're trying to solve the mystery of why he's doing it. And of course, then he talks to Guinan, and Guinan was also on Enterprise B, and she talks about the Nexus, how it's kind of like it's kind of like a heaven type thing. It's a Twilight Zone type heaven type thing. And again, they're using old TV show tactics mixed in with movie tactics, with the old Enterprise D, and of course, the Stuirt have their own thing to try to lower the shields of the Enterprise D and stuff, and of course they do hostage exchange and stuff, but to find out what the secret of the Nexus is and stuff, and of course that entanglement of the Enterprise D and that old bird of prey causes a coolant leak, which is funny because it's Enterprise D and they're having a coolant leak, with a bird of prey, an 80-year-old bird of prey, kind of on the fishy side if you ask me, but this is a movie review, so anyway, so and then of course Viridian 3 is where they have to go to and stuff. Like I said, I can't shoot scene for scene, but and everything going by Paramount, I can't copyright and stuff.
It's been coded. Once I'm safely to the surface, I'll transmit the decryption sequence to you. Not before.
Mistress, the Federation starship is entering the system.
What? On viewer.
They're hailing us.
We're still cloaked. They can't see us.
Klingon vessel. We know what you're doing, and we will destroy any probe launched toward the Viridian Star. We demand that you return our chief engineer and leave this system immediately.
There's no time for this. Eliminate them.
That is a Galaxy-class starship. We are no match for them.
Sorry about the telephone interruption, but anyway, it's amazing. A Galaxy-class starship against an 80-year-old bird, if not 90-year-old bird of prey, and it's kind of like, like really? It's like, I don't know, that made no sense. Anyways, they go down, of course, Soren succeeds with him, because Picard's not exactly a believer until he gets in the Nexus himself, and of course, Guinan's there, she's kind of like a ghost clone, and like I said, there's like stuff that doesn't make sense. Obviously it's an odd number, Star Trek, so it's not one of the better ones. We get to Star Trek 8, gets good again. It's kind of the ironic weirdness of that. But anyway, it's like a heaven type thing. And sort of that I've done, 80 years trying to find a better way. But and of course Riker, I don't know why they go against him in Picard series. That makes no sense. But he had no choice but to crash the saucer section into that and destroy the ship. It's amazing how the ship got destroyed, because it's like, how did Geordi build it? But that's technical babble mystery there for you. But anyway, Riker crashes, and of course, oh shit from Data. He has the motion chip, into him and stuff. But and of course, it's funny. I think they did mention the other uniform, but Anyway, so and of course, we have the Nexus and stuff.
got a problem down here. The magnetic interlocks have been ruptured. Cooler leak! We have a cooler leak, everybody. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Everybody out. Let's move. Let's move. Here we go. Friends, we have a new problem. We're 5 minutes from a World War breach. There's nothing I can do.
Deanna, evacuate everyone to the saucer section. Mr. Data, prepare to separate the ship.
For the Enterprise D is supposed to have families on board, is experimental with that, but I don't know. But I think the weird part is he's doing the best he knew how when he crashed the ship. And of course, you know, Picard goes to the Nexus, and of course he has a Christmas thing where he has his family, you know, his kids, you know, a Christmas that he never had because he wanted a family of his own. And of course, you know, things, I don't know, it's like as we learned in Picard, he doesn't have a son, but that's another thing, you know. But anyway, you know, I just find it ridiculous. I don't know why I had the scene with the teddy bear. Like I said, I can't show scene for scene. You know, Diana does have a controller, and she is promoted in the TV series, in Marina Sirtis. And, Guinan's like, well, you know, I can't help you. I'm on the Enterprise, but, and Guinan won't, I just refuse to help. I know someone who can. So Picard comes across Captain Kirk, and of course he just arrived in Nexus 2, you know, 80 years earlier. Of course, time has no meaning. He's chopping and I guess he's his imagination fascinating. Like I said, Soren gets the rocket and stuff. But anyway, his thing was that rebuild his life because he went back to Starfleet, even because there was a gap in time, I guess, when remember that in between the TV show and the first movie in 1977, and that he had a love affair and he wanted to marry with this lady and he'd do things right from day one or something. And like I said, I can't show scene for scene, and of course he convinces them, you know, this is the passing of the baton part, convinces them that make a difference. I don't know, it's make a difference thing, but it is what it is. And obviously the two captains, Shatner did ride horses, and he was getting, he rode with his other wife, and of course Picard, he was teaching Picard how to ride. So that is real with Shatner. Those were really Shatner's horses. But yeah, and of course he's like, an argument. I've been saving the galaxy before, when I was in diapers and etc. etc. And but yeah, to go back to stop this torpedo hitting that Amagos's star on the Viridian, the Viridian star, because billions of people would die and whatnot. But anyway, so yeah, and you talk, you have the comedy of that, so.
Fire.
How can you be here? He's been dead 7 years.
Come on, Jim, I'm starving. How long are you going to be rattling around in that kitchen?
What are you talking about? The future. This is the past. This is 9 years ago. The day I told her I was going back to Starfleet.
These are Gatarian names, her favorite. I was preparing to soften the blow.
I know how real this must seem to you. But it's not.
Can't do, he seemed to start, two captains making breakfast, but, convinces them, make a difference. Like I said, I can't show scene for scene, and this time I go back, and this time, Shatner, Captain Kirk does get killed, saving everything, and it's amazing. But yeah, and of course they, reshoot scenes and stuff, and, Picard buries him and stuff. And yeah, they make a difference. You know, that he dies in the 24th century, Captain Kirk. I don't know, not the best death. He didn't die alone like he said he would in Star Trek V. But yeah, you know, you have the famous scene there and stuff.
I gotta get to the launch pad. The ribbon will be here in a minute.
I'll take care of Sora.
And of course, Kirk fades and stuff, you know, the death of Kirk. But, fitting end to that. But, you know, it's kind of lame and stuff. And of course, the ribbon passes by. And of course, you know, Data finally controls his emotions and stuff. He says, you know, with his emotion chip and stuff. And yeah, you know, we see that in the Enterprise. And he says, oh, and he throws away precious stuff that he got that was supposed to be an ancient artifact, like it's garbage. And he's looking for his, you know, picture book. I guess that's a treasure. And of course, they end, you know, that, you know, they'll never come again and stuff. But yeah, so that's that. That's Star Trek 7 Generations, and you know, the end of Enterprise D. Of course, it gets restored, and they have old computers and stuff. But it's amazing, you know. You know, of course, the Data reunites with his cat Spot. You have to watch the TV show, and you know, everybody needs a family, and of course, I need a family. So I need a family, and so overall, you know. An average movie. It's like a 2-hour TV show. I think Troy still had her, you know. But anyways, that's Generations for you. And yeah, what do you call it? Yeah, I need someone that's ages 25 to 38. Want to, you know, in that age range, someone that wants a kid, want to help me with these, and want to be a partner, you know, not just emotional, but all around, you know, everything, you know, forever and stuff. Anyway, hope to see you out there. This is David Giant 2B signing off.